and welcome to ADHD Friendly. I'm Patty Blinderman. I'm an ADHD coach, and I am the creator of the ADHD Friendly website and membership community. I invite you to check it out, ADHDfriendly.com, if you're looking to support yourself to thrive with ADHD. This is episode 137, and I am solo today. I am Becca-less. It's sad, but she's not feeling well today, so I'm going to just do it on my own and hope, give me feedback. Episode 137, if you notice things that just don't work when I'm doing it by myself, because it's always hard for me just to record talking to a screen as opposed to talking to lovely Becca. But, I'm always open to feedback. So if there's something you think I could be doing better, kind words, please. Do not trigger my sensitivities. I don't know what I don't know, so I'm always looking for feedback. Okay, so this episode, I'm going to be talking about how to plan an ADHD-friendly summer. And I'm going to share a little bit about what I've already thought about for my own summer. And then, kind of go through the things I'm sharing with each episode. But let me start with my celebration, which always begins with welcoming new subscribers. So we are flipping the cards again, welcoming all the new subscribers. We're at 852. Oh, that one happens automatically. 852. That is mind-blowing to me every time. It literally, guys, I'm so grateful. I don't take it for granted. I don't get tired of it. It's not this kind of like static thing that I'm just like, yeah, whatever. I'm not attached to the number, but I am very appreciative of anybody that's taken time to subscribe, because hopefully you're getting something from what I'm sharing that is supporting you in some way. So thank you. All right, on to my next celebration, and that is I've shared before, I do love planning longer term. I love using my external tools. I've got my semester calendar, I've got my annual calendar that really help me to look out further in time than my brain does naturally. And I set up my 4-month semester calendar to really look at the summer. So I have it through, as I'm recording this, it's still May. And I can see all the way through August. I have May, June, July, and August, and I can see it all in one glance. And I planned out the entire summer of ADHD-friendly membership offerings, specifically around what I call power hours. And power hours are body double sessions, specifically focused on a task that we are going to dive into together. So I typically share a little bit of information at the top of the session, and then we just body double the rest of the time and take action on it. So I've got some kind of monthly themes going for the summer. So for the month of June, which starts today, kicks off the June offering. So if you are interested in taking advantage of the full month, there's no obligation to, you don't have to commit long-term. You can join for a month, check out everything. The planner course, the planner, everything is available to members at no additional cost. So that's all in the membership portal. But if you would like to take advantage of the structure on the power hours for June, we start today. You can join anytime and you'll be able to take advantage of the rest of them. But if you want to kind of hit the ground running, we're going to be looking at money this month. So we're going to be talking about managing bills. We're going to be talking about looking at online statements, some budgeting apps, and finally systems. So there's going to be 4 power hours this month. And those are the topics that are going to be covered, one each week. They're all on Wednesdays at 12 Eastern. So if that's a time that works for you and you're like, I do want to have some more focused time to look at my money this month. I'm not a financial advisor. I struggle a lot with numbers. So money is not something that comes naturally to me. It's a very invisible thing in today's, the way that we deal with money. So we're going to just be spending some time body doubling to get maybe a little bit more of a grasp on what we need to individually around finances. So that's June. July, we're going to be focusing in on home organization. So we're going to be looking at organizing pictures. It can be digital, it can be physical. I'm going to be talking more about physical, but whatever photos you need to get a handle on, we're doing one session on that. We'll do a session on recipes. We started that a few months ago, and so we're coming back to finish up. So I still have a pile of my recipes waiting for me to come back to it. And I realized without this structure, I'm just not going to do it. So that's what ADHD Friendly is all about, is taking action on your intentions. So implementing them, not just intending them. And then lastly, for July, we're going to focus on laundry. It's such a common challenge for my individual coaching clients, and it comes up all the time. So we're just going to spend an hour body doubling to either fold laundry, sort laundry, put laundry away, get laundry started, whatever laundry challenge you have, we're going to spend some time focusing on moving forward around that. And then in August, I'm calling it back to school or back to work or back to structured routines. Whatever you need to come back and connect to, whatever's going on in your life. If you have kids, if you're going back to school, if you've been on vacation and need to reconnect to your work systems, or if you've just noticed your routines fell off during the summer, it's going to be back to month. So we're going to talk about meal planning, back to exercising, and back to morning and evening routines. All of these sessions are on Wednesdays each month. All of these sessions are at 12 Eastern. So it's really simple to remember. Most Wednesdays at 12 Eastern, we'll be doing a power hour session to body double together. So if that interests you, I invite you to check it out. That's my celebration that I planned out the entire summer, and I'm so excited about it. And honestly, I always share, I structure the things that I hear the most from my clients and people in the membership that challenge them. And they're things I struggle with myself. So by coming together and working on them together, it's win-win. We help each other and we all move forward. So join us if that's something that you would like to participate in. All right, now for the ADHD friendly tool for this month. And this kind of ties in with what I purchased, which is a new segment that I share each week, what I spent money on outside of like essentials like groceries. Like I'm not really, kind of updating like, oh, I paid, insurance or I bought groceries. I'm just talking about non-essential shopping, kind of above and beyond what is typically covered in essential things that we need. And so I'm sharing what I purchased and also the tool for this week that has come out of me tracking this and sharing it each week in the podcast. So it's really interesting. One of my favorite things about this podcast is it creates structure for me to experiment with things and bring it back and share it with you. And because I committed to sharing it, it pulls me into keeping up with it much longer than I would do it on my own. So here's what I purchased this week. I'll start with that, and then I'll share the tool that I made to help me keep up with it a little bit more easily. So I purchased an iPhone wallet. It's like a crossbody bag that I'm calling definitely a want. So it just slips my iPhone in here. It has a little wallet built into it, just, large enough for a little bit of cash or my ID, credit card, that kind of thing. And I can wear it crossbody, which is how I love to do it, like this. Or it comes with a little handle. So if I just want to put it around my wrist and carry it like that, I could do that. I'm not good at that, but it does come with that option. This was $32.99. I purchased one of these for my sister, and I just loved the way it looked so much that I realized I needed it for myself. My dog isn't here today because she's not feeling well. She's throwing up all over the house. It's okay. She's been to the vet. She's on the mend, but I'm not comfortable leaving her too far away from me. She's not usually in here with me when Becca's here, but she just walked by and knocked all of my papers off of my lap. But the iPhone wallet case is my newest purchase, and I got it because I was going to a concert with my husband, and I shared that I bought those high fidelity earplugs, and they came with this handy little clip and a little canister to hold them in. And I realized I could just clip it right here on my case. So I loved this. It may end up being one of my favorite things for 2024. I just loved it so much. It was a great find, and I know it's going to serve me well anytime. And I got black because I figured it can last year round. It's neutral, it goes with everything. So that's one thing I purchased. I also purchased, this is like my very sparkly, wait, I'll hold on for that because it's like so much fun. I purchased a car wash, that I can't demonstrate, but that was needed. My car was really dirty, so that was $12. I purchased a Carolina Hurricanes bracelet for my daughter. That was $20. Definitely impulsive, kind of like last minute saw it. I was like, oh, I love it, because they were in the playoffs. Ended up losing that game pretty quickly. Then right after I bought it, they lost. But it was something I saw and I knew she would love, and I bought it. And then my very, very sparkly thing I bought was, you guys, if you're listening to this, I invite you to check out my YouTube channel, that ADHD-Friendly. It is a box of Peanuts cards. It came with 40 cards, 10 each of each design. If you look closely, there's 4 individual cards. The cards are really, really fun. The box itself is fun. It has this little Velcro, so I can open it and it stores them, and it just feels so sparkly to me. These were only $13 on, I think I got these on Amazon, and I'm just so happy about having them. I've shared my success with my letter writing, and I thought I'm better at mailing things with a stamp, but I need something sparkly to pull me in. So this was definitely a want, but it felt like a need. But it was in reality, it's definitely a want. But I do love them. And then the other thing I did was I bought more stationery from an online catalog that carries a lot of Snoopy products. And I ordered Snoopy stationery, Snoopy gift bags, a Snoopy tote that I had customized with ADHD Friendly, because I wanted to qualify for the free shipping, which I needed to spend $40. So I got up to $44.92. I purchased it. I was looking for it to be delivered. It didn't come after a few days. It still wasn't here, because I wanted to be able to demonstrate and show you guys what I got, because I purchased them. And when I went online, I realized for some reason the purchase didn't complete. I don't know why, but I'm kind of leaving it there because it created the awareness for the tool I'm going to share. And that was, I'm going to share again, lots of visuals today. So if you want to check out the channel, you can see them. But I started out with this simple form where I wrote down the week that I was tracking what I purchased, the date I purchased the item, what the item is, how much it cost me, and whether or not it was a want or a need. Because I felt like I just needed to get a little bit more of an awareness instead of just kind of writing a list and sharing it on the podcast. I thought, well, I need to see what I'm buying, how much it's costing. Maybe I'll add it up at the end of the week. And then I thought, well, I should know if it's a want or a need. If I kind of bought it and I was like, oh my gosh, I really needed that. Or if it was just kind of like, oh yeah, I would like to have that. That's a want. And then after I used it for the first week, I realized I kind of wanted to know if it was an impulse purchase or not, and if I felt any differently about it 24 hours later. So I added those little fields here. So I kept want, need, and then I added, is it an impulse? And if I change my mind about it 24 hours later. So the Snoopy stationery that didn't end up getting purchased, I still really do want it, which is interesting, because some of the things, I do tend to feel differently about them, which is what I'm trying to just grow my awareness of. And so that's my tool. And that's what I wanted to share, is if you are noticing, or maybe you're not even noticing, and it just might be growing your own awareness of what you're buying, without even really paying attention to what you're buying, when you're buying it, how much you're spending. This is a really common challenge for us. What would you do to make that a little bit more visible for yourself? Because without that concrete external visual tool, I know I am completely oblivious to what I am, kind of just the money's just going out and I'm not really doing anything differently. It's just kind of like, oh yeah, well, I needed that. And I just thought that this tool can help me to notice, did I really need it? Do I feel any differently about it? And maybe even just have a stronger sense of how much am I spending each week, since I'm coming here and sharing that with you guys. If I look at what I spent just from what I shared with you, I mean, it's about $100, which if I take that over the course of the month, that's an extra $400 a month. I think the first week I tracked it, it was about the same, which is kind of interesting. I don't want to be spending $100 a month on, or yeah, $100 a week on things that I'm just impulsively buying. So I'm just kind of noticing that, and I'm maybe continue sharing it because it's very interesting to me how this might end up helping me to understand my own spending habits and what can help me to rein that in a bit if it's not serving me in certain areas. So that's my tip slash tool for the week, is an external way to keep track of. For me, external, you might do it digitally, but for me, it definitely makes a difference if I can see it. I leave it out. It reminds me to write it down if I'm shopping online and I buy something. So it's just kind of pulling me into using it. So if there's something you're already doing that's working for you, I would love to hear it. Episode 137, please post in the comments because we all do learn from each other. All right, on to the topic for this week, and that is to plan an ADHD-friendly summer. And I've shared in past episodes, this is our third summer of the podcast. So if you want to go back and revisit episode 39 and episode 85, I talked about different summer themes, preparing for the summer. And then in episode 93, I talked about summer sad, which is that seasonal affective disorder, but for the very small percentage of us who experience it. And I include myself, I'm not officially diagnosed, but I definitely am impacted negatively by heat and humidity. And it's my least favorite. I would say like summer's my fourth favorite season. So it's definitely my least favorite. So when I think about planning an ADHD friendly summer, and this can look very individually unique to each of us, I am definitely mindful of making sure I'm limiting how much I'm exposed to the heat. So I'm planning what books do I want to read, kind of like lightening things up and looking for some like kind of more beachy, even if I'm not on a beach, but kind of lighter, easier reads that just feel like summer. I always read a Harry Potter book over the summer. So that's always very sparkly for me. I look at maybe, how do I increase my time with friends, whether it's virtual or in person, so that I have those connections? Am I traveling? Is there any, even like a road trip or day trips or weekend trips that I'm looking at? What do I want to do with downtime? My summers are the slowest time of the year for me. I coach students through adults. So my students typically will pause over the summer. So my business really slows down in the summer, which for the most part, I really do enjoy. It gives me just a lot more flexibility to dive into some deeper projects, both within my work and at home. So I kind of like to identify like what's reasonable. I kind of list everything, and then once I can see it concretely, I'm like, there's no way all of this is going to happen this summer. But then I can prioritize and kind of look at what chores do I want to catch up with. So like things like I'd love to clean out the garage, but once we hit like, end of June, get into July, August, if it's not already done, it's not going to happen. So it creates that urgency to dive in earlier if I want to get that done and not tolerate the garage the entire summer. But I know once the heat hits, I won't do it. It's just not going to be something that will happen. So again, leaning into what's going to work for you. What structure do you need? Some of us really resist structure. I will get nothing done without structure. So I like to, I've shared before, like in the summers when my kids were smaller, we'd have a specific day for play dates. We'd have a specific day of the week that we would go to the library each week. And it was just something that they came to understand, like, oh, it's Wednesday, it's library day, or it's Tuesday, it's play date day. It's Friday. We don't go anywhere. We stay home and we just, we make homemade pizzas and watch a movie or something or play games. So having a sense of a routine can really help. And I know for me, I might like more routine than a lot of people do, but it's only because over the years, I've really noticed how much my kids needed it. And now that my kids don't need me to structure the routine, I notice how much I struggle without it. So I look for what helps to kind of put those little like posts in the ground as benchmarks for what's holding some structure to my time. Because otherwise, summer's gone before I even kind of am aware that it was here. And then I'm busy again once fall kicks back up and school's back in. So for me, I'm looking for one class to take, probably going to be a knitting class this summer. But I always love of learning is like my absolute highest character strength. So giving myself the gift of taking a class is always very sparkly. And then I do have a couple of road trips I'm taking with my husband. We don't have a big vacation. We have a vacation plan at the end of the summer, but not over the actual summer. So summertime itself, it might just be like a couple of road trips, or it might be we're looking at a couple of concerts that we're gonna, kind of like go a little bit further out and see some bands that we want to see now that I have my high fidelity concert earplugs. It's kind of sparkly how much they help me to tolerate the noise. And then in my business, I am working on a deluxe planner that is much more robust and has a lot more tools and descriptions and examples in it than the basic planner that I currently have up for sale and in the membership that's included for members. And I'm also playing around with the idea of actually starting to make a book of POM, the personal owner's manual, the actual book. So that there's something, if you just want a manual, you just want to take it and kind of make it yours and have a starting place, that it will be a much more like, I have a mini POM on my website you can sign up to get. It's just 4 tools. And this would be a much more complete personal owner's manual to hit the ground running with the tools that will work to get you closer to thriving with ADHD by noting what works for you and what doesn't. So those are the things I'm looking at for my summer. When you think about what your ADHD friendly summer would need to be ADHD friendly, what structure would be needed to hold that intention in place so that you're able to implement more easily? What do you need more of or less of? What chores would you like to tackle? What hobbies would you like to connect with? What friends do you want to spend time with? And the easiest way I always find to do this is when I think about myself in September, what will I look back and wish I had accomplished, or what will I look back and wish I'd spent time doing? And then I try to intentionally plan for that now when I have the space of time to look at the entire summer at a glance and plan for it before it's gone. So here's to an ADHD friendly summer for all of us. All right, on to my book of the week. And it is a new book, just came out. It's from Jennifer Ryan. It's called The Underground Library. I love this. I love historical fiction. This is takes place during World War II. It is based on an actual library that was bombed during World War II that went into the underground where the trains run, and they set up like a satellite library so that people would still be able to access books since the library was not able to be open after it was bombed. But the people that are, the lives in the story are all fiction. But I love that it was based on an actual desire for people impacted by the bombs to make books available while they were, every night during the air raids going down into the underground. So highly recommend this, really did enjoy it. If it interests you, sounds like your kind of book, The Underground Library by Jennifer Ryan. And now I have a quote of the week, and this is from The Great Gatsby from F. Scott Fitzgerald, and it's a summer quote. So he says, "And so with the sunshine and the great bursts of leaves growing on trees, just as things grow in fast movies, I had that familiar conviction that life was beginning over again with the summer." I love that, because it does feel like, we're at the midpoint of the year with summer, and it does feel like a new beginning. Everything's growing, everything's green, everything's kind of fresh and new. And when you think about what you would like from your summer, I love that. Everything is beginning over again with the summer. So what would you begin again? What do you want to reconnect to or create for yourself? All right, that's it for this episode 137. I invite you to, just think about how you track or keep up with your non-essential spending, your discretionary spending. If there's a tool or a tip, again, episode 137 to share. And if this resonated with you, anything in this episode you found helpful or you think somebody else could benefit from, I invite you to share this episode with a friend or family member or a colleague. And if you haven't subscribed yet, would love to have you represented in the numbers. Come on, join the fun. And I hope to see you next time. Until then, tally ho.